The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
The BBC are saying
Portsmouth have signed Irish winger Moulenik Ali on loan for the rest of the season from League One side Luton Town. The 25-year-old joined the Hatters from Exeter City in a deal reported to be worth £1.5 million last January. Since then he has made 38 appearances, scoring 5 times and assisting on 3 occasions. This season, Ali has played 22 times across all competitions, scoring once and registering 3 assists.
The BBC's Andrew Moon says this.
On the face of it, signing a player on loan who can't currently get into a League One matchday squad might be underwhelming. The reality in January is, unless you have big money to splash, which Pompey don't, you are looking to sign players who are out of favour. Last January, Rob Atkinson and Isaac Hayden arrived without having made a single appearance that season, and both made very positive impacts. Ali has already shown last season he can make a difference in the Championship, having battled up through non-league football. Pompey urgently need wingers given their injury situation. This could well be the only signing for Pompey before the trip to Sheffield Wednesday. A busy second half of the window is now required.
Portsmouth head coach John MOUSINHO told BBC Radio.
He's a player that we've admired for a while. He came into the Championship last season off the back of a really impressive couple of seasons at Exeter, and I think he was one of the bright sparks in the back end of a tough season for Luton. It's also a position we've been looking to fill, so we're delighted to have him in. I think it's a really positive early signing for us.
Yeah, we had to get a winger in quick, didn't we? We all know that. And we're relieved that he's come in time to be available for selection, either as a starter or off the bench against Sheffield Wednesday, because that is a game that we really should get something from. 3 points is almost minimum, but certainly we don't want to get beat. We've got games in hand on most of the teams around us, and we want to make use of them when we get an opportunity to. It won't be over the weekend because the other clubs will be playing as well. But if we could get 3 points against Sheffield Wednesday, and this lad puts in a kind of a performance that footballers often put in, particularly explosive footballers, which is how he is described, and I've had a look at him on YouTube myself, and he's got a tremendous goal celebration. Let's hope we see plenty of it. So that's the man. And just as a backhand, wise words once again, as always, from Andrew Moon. What an asset he is to the club's, well, he's not part of the club's media, but to Pompey's public image. And I just want to echo something that the excellent Neil Allen said in the news a couple of days ago, that we are on our knees. We are on our knees, but we're sort of going to start staggering to our feet, hopefully, beginning with this signing.
John MOUSINHO on the short-term signing of loan player Millie Ali.
Moulenik was one of those available to us on loan. We have a fair few wingers in the building, just not a huge amount fit at the minute, so I think the loan option in the short term will work well for us. We do want more wingers though. It depends, there's definitely a need for them. He's an explosive winger, right-footed, but plays on the left and comes on the inside quite a bit, while Methaf, when he plays on the right, he can go on the outside. An old-school right-footed right winger, which you don't see too many of these days. He has a really good eye for goal as well. I think that's the reason Luton took him, because of the goals he scored and the excitement he created at Exeter, and he did the same at the back end of last season. Moulenik is a player we have admired for a while. He was one of the bright sparks in the back end of tough season for Luton, scored a few goals, played quite a lot of games in the Championship, and is a player who has come into the league and done very well. It's a position we have been looking to fill, so we're delighted to have him in. It's a really positive early signing for us, MOUSINHO added. If he had been playing every week, then maybe he wouldn't have been available to us, so it's one of those. We looked at this record at the back end of last year. He played plenty of games pretty consistently, so I think it's a really positive early signing for us. He can play off either flank, he has played centrally a couple of times as well, but I think he's versatile enough to play off the left or off the right, and he has done that quite a bit over the past year or so.
John MOUSINHO on the short-term signing of loan player Millie Ali.
It's an ever-changing game, football, isn't it? I don't remember when it came in that left-sided wingers play on the right, left-footed wingers play on the right and vice versa. And if it's the case, then it means that if you're a fullback, then the winger coming at you is just as likely to cut inside as to try and get down to the byline and get a cross in. So maybe we're approaching the day when left-footed fullbacks play right back and again vice versa to negate that threat. Keeps us on our toes, doesn't it? Fingers crossed for this lad. We need somebody explosive, don't we?
John Mousinho addresses the future of Connor Chaplin. We've now had enough games with Chappers in his preferred position for him to really get going and fit in the team well. He's definitely affecting games, we just haven't had the output in terms of goals and assists that Connor would like, let alone what we would expect. He's definitely had a massive effect on us though. Prior to that Bristol City game we had a good run of results and a good run of games, albeit that small run of games and 4 games undefeated with 2 wins. Taking 8 points from 4 games at that time of season for us was important, because teams at bottom started picking up results and teams in the middle didn't. We needed that, and the fact we're 2 games short of a lot of sides, so the contribution everyone is making in terms of morale, but particularly Connor, is great. I think the season is ahead of Connor, that's very much what we're focusing on.
Yes, as usual, John Mousinho manages to come up with a nice phrase, and it is, I think the season is ahead of Connor. And that is a good way of looking at it. He hasn't hit the ground running as we expected, hoped. When we got the exciting news that he was coming, it really rounded off what appeared to be a measured and successful spend or series of acquisitions during the summer. We've got Connor Chaplin. But he didn't buzz, and he has only just begun to buzz and show us what he can do. He can hit the ball, but he can do a lot more than that. He knows where the goal is, but he can do a lot more than that. And it's those things that we're expecting, the work rate and also the telling passes going forward, passes not necessarily splitting the defence. That's very difficult to do in the Championship because the defences are so well organised and they're blanket defences. But creating opportunities is one of the things that we believe he is a little bit special at, and we want to see plenty of, along with actual assists and, of course, a few goals would be nice. Let's hope John Mousinho is right on 2 counts. 1, that he's staying, and 2, that his season is ahead of him. With the upcoming Sheffield Wednesday game being of such importance, when we collared Steve Bone for his usual weekly roundup and look forward, I asked him whether I dared ask him for his usual prediction for the upcoming game. Dare I ask the Sheffield Wednesday score?
You dare ask, yes. I'm gonna do my usual thing because we're playing midweek at Watford. I'm going to give you 2 predictions for the price of 1. I'm going to go for a squeaky 1-0 win at Hillsborough. I think we're going to get the job done. Don't think it'll be convincing or pretty. Doesn't matter, does it? Don't care how we win. Just need to win. I'm going for a Colby Bishop second half winner, set up by substitute Callum Lang. There we go. That's predicted more than you.
Very detailed.
But then I think we will, and that will get all our hopes up, and we'll have our tails up after that, and we'll be thinking, yeah, going to go on a run now, and then I think we'll probably go and lose at Watford next week because that's what we do. Still, at the moment, I don't want to be too gloomy about it.
You're Pompey, mate. Inside out.
We've just seen it. We've seen it too often. The new hope comes from every win we get this season, and so far it's not been followed up by what happens in the next game.
And you can hear the whole of Steve's piece variously on Pompey Sound if you listen digitally, or you can download the podcast. Go to Pompey Sound podcasts, and I think his current one is headlined Steve welcomes Millie and Nesta. His predictions are well worth following because from time to time, and sometimes too often for comfort, uncannily, he is spot on, not only with the results, that's one thing, but he gives correct score lines, and 1-0 to Pompey at Sheffield Wednesday is probably worth a flutter. Gamble responsibly.